On Mother's Day, I failed to buy a gift for my mother. She furiously dragged me off the hospital bed, slapped me 10 times, took a video and posted it on Moments, denouncing me as an unfilial daughter. The newly sutured wound on my body burst open, causing severe bleeding. I was urgently wheeled into the ICU by doctors. After a near-death experience, I chose to sever the relationship and flee far away. As a senior executive in a foreign-funded enterprise, it's normal for me to work overtime late into the night every day. My body couldn't withstand the long-term high-load operation, and unfortunately, I got gastric cancer. But luckily, it was detected early, and the surgery was successful. Just after coming out of the operating room, when I woke up, I saw there were 99+ unread messages on my phone in the family group. My mother, younger brother, and sister-in-law were sending messages like crazy. I was a bit puzzled because I hadn't told them about my surgery. How did they know? My mother me in the group. Do you know it's Mother's Day today? Where are you? Others are posting the gifts their children bought for them on Moments. Did I give birth to an ungrateful person? I'm too ashamed to show my face. Those who don't know how to be grateful have no blessing. Even if they succeed, they will go bankrupt. Failure is the will of heaven, and retribution will come sooner or later. Speak. Don't think I can't do anything to you just because you don't speak. Believe it or not, I'll go to your company and tell your leader about it, so that your colleagues all know you're a heartless scumbag. And my brother Li Chong private messaged me, saying that mom wanted a new Alienware gaming laptop, which costs 40,000 yuan in the market. Sister, why don't you reply to the messages? Are you reluctant? Mom has contributed so much to the family. It's just a 40,000 yuan computer. Do you still have a conscience? My sister-in-law also spoke in a sarcastic way in the group, saying she was also a mother. Implicitly, she wanted the child's aunt, that is me, to buy her a Mother's Day gift as well, and she specified that she wanted the La Mer set. There were too many abusive words. Lying on the hospital bed extremely weak, I read page by page feeling very tired. As the anesthetic gradually wore off, my body hurt a lot, but it was far less than the coldness in my heart. I thought they were here to care about me, but I was wrong. I had worked overtime continuously for a month, being extremely busy every day. For someone who didn't even have their birthday celebrated, it's natural that I couldn't remember Mother's Day. I knew I had been disfavored since childhood, so I worked extra hard. I worked hard to get into a prestigious university, to enter a foreign enterprise, and to earn money. God favors those who work hard. I got promoted all the way with a 1,000,000 yuan annual salary, achieving financial freedom. Li Chong was spoiled, overly rebellious, and didn't like studying. After graduating from a secondary technical school, he found a job as a truck driver, but he beat the boss after working for a few days. Later, he simply stayed at home and depended on his parents. I felt sorry for my parents, who were farmers and had worked hard all their lives only to be exploited by their son, so I often subsidized them. I bought all the big and small items at home, from bowls and chopsticks to cars. Now it seems that while I felt sorry for them being exploited, they never felt sorry for me. Instead, they comfortably lived off me, eating my flesh and drinking my blood. This year I just forgot to buy a birthday gift for her, and she kept cursing me to die. Usually, I had bought her a lot of things and gave her an 8,000 yuan subsidy every month. He spent nearly 100,000 yuan on surgery in the first half of the year, and my brother didn't pay a penny. But he completely forgot my usual efforts and held on to this one thing. Mother's Day gift, haha. He had never celebrated my birthday, let alone Children's Day. Now he actually cares about birthdays and Mother's Day every year. I didn't know he was so concerned about rituals. As for Li Chong, I think the Alienware computer is what he wants. Just as I was about to reply in the group, my mother's phone calls came in like crazy. Her roar was deafening. Are you dead? Do you think you can get away with not replying to messages and hiding in the hospital? You just wait. If I don't teach you a good lesson, you'll really think you can do whatever you want. I frowned. How did he know I was in the hospital? I had only told my best friend Yimeng about my cancer surgery. Just as I was thinking, the door of my ward was kicked open. My mother rushed in angrily, looking at me with fierce eyes, as if I were not her daughter but her enemy. Who are you pretending to be lying here for? You ungrateful wretch. Look at what other people's daughters have bought for their mothers. Are you dead? Just because I don't have a gift, I can't hold my head up in front of relatives. You're slapping me in the face. She pointed at me and cursed, completely ignoring my dying appearance on the hospital bed. I just came out of the operating room. What do you want from me? I said discontentedly. My mother glared at me. What do I want from you? I want you to buy me a gift. I was aroused to anger and sneered. I just had surgery. Did you care about me at all? You came to ask for a gift as soon as you saw me. My brother never buys you gifts. Why don't you ask him for it? I just won't buy it. My mother snorted disdainfully at my complaint. He has never cared about my health. Aren't you fine? He said. If you don't want to buy it, give me 50,000 yuan, and I'll buy it myself. No, I don't have the money, I firmly said. My mother's face darkened. Have you become defiant? I'll ask you again, will you buy it? Facing his angry gaze, I still said, no. Ask your son for it. At the same time, I pressed the call bell and asked the nurse to drive out the irrelevant people. The patient has just had surgery and needs to rest. Family members, please go out, the nurse reminded. My mother felt ashamed, her face growing increasingly dark and extremely unpleasant. I wearily closed my eyes, assuming she would leave, at most scold me a few more times. After all, I had grown accustomed to it since childhood and no longer took it to heart. Unexpectedly, my mother's face contorted for an instant. She strode forward, dragged me off the hospital bed, raised her palm and hard slapped me. Don't want to buy? I'll make you not want to buy. You disgraceful wretch, who are you making faces at? Telling me to get out? Who do you think you are? I fell heavily to the ground. The tube inserted in my stomach was directly pulled out, and the needle in my hand was violently torn out. The excruciating pain made my eyes go black and I fainted. Before losing consciousness, I saw my mother's ferocious and terrifying face. I don't know how long I slept. I lifted my heavy eyelids to see a white expanse. You're finally awake, the nurse said with concern. From the nurse, I learned I had been unconscious for 4 days. That day, after being beaten by my mother, my wounds tore open, causing massive bleeding that sent me to the ICU for emergency treatment for a full day. The nurse called the police, and my mother was taken away by the police and detained. Rest assured and take care of yourself. The hospital has changed your ward and won't disclose your ward information. I won't let anyone disturb you either. The nurse looked at me with pity and compassion. I opened my mouth and said hoarsely, thank you. Strangers would care for me, yet my family wanted to kill me. I looked gaunt, my heart ashen. The nutrient solution dripped into my body drop by drop, and I drowsily slept through the afternoon. Memories from childhood flashed through my mind like a slideshow. At 7, when fresh milk subscriptions were popular and deliverymen came daily, my mother only subscribed to one for my brother. The milkman said, you have 2 children, why not subscribe to another? My mother looked down at me and asked, do you want to drink milk? I nodded timidly, yes, but my mother suddenly changed her tone and sneered. You don't deserve it. I still remember the milkman's pitying gaze. At 18, when I was admitted to university, my mother demanded I attend a tuition-free normal college, claiming tuition was too expensive. It was the first time I rebelled and the result was being blocked. I earned my tuition and living expenses myself for 4 years. At 22, just after graduation, my mother unblocked me and said in a condescending tone, first, find a good husband for yourself. Although he's been married 3 times, he promised 300,000 yuan in bride price. They threatened me with my household register until I agreed to send them 5,000 yuan monthly. When my mother saw my high salary, she feared the money I earned after marriage would belong to others, so she never mentioned marriage again. For this reason, I later moved my household registration out under the pretext of work, fearing threats. As my salary increased, my mother's attitude toward me improved, and even my father, who had always been cold, gradually showed a smile. Our superficially false harmonious relationship was maintained by money. There's a saying online. Children who are not loved are always the most filial. Love-starved children are like fish lacking water, constantly longing for love. Few can escape this curse, and I'm no exception. But false is false after all. Tragically, it took a near-death experience for me to understand this simple truth. Perhaps because I was too obedient before, now that I slightly disobey, she flies into a rage and wishes to kill me. It turns out my mother doesn't care about my life at all. They don't love me, truly don't. I've been deceiving myself, delusionally exchanging money for a little love. But that's not love, it's greed. It's all fake. Liyun, wake up. After waking from the dream, I wiped my face and found it full of tears. I calmly wiped them away and called my supervisor, Sister Helen. Sister Helen, I remember you mentioned a UK expatriate position before. Is the quota still available? It is. If you want to go, I'll put your name forward. But think carefully, this assignment is for 8 years. When others hear about the duration, they all back out. No one wants to go, Sister Helen said. I'll go, but I'm convenient now. Can I go later? I said. Sure, no rush. You just had surgery, rest well. How's your body? Can we visit? Colleagues want to see you at the hospital. I finally couldn't hold back, my eyes heating up as tears fell. See, a little care from colleagues can move me so much. I'm fine, no need to trouble yourselves. I'm not convenient now. I don't like being seen in an embarrassed state. Alright, then take good care. You can leave after recovering. I'll reserve the quota for you. Thank you, Sister Helen. After hanging up, my father called. I rejected the call and blocked him. From the bombarded messages on my phone, I learned my mother was detained for suspected intentional injury, and the family was in chaos. My father demanded I go to the police station to explain it was a misunderstanding, and Li Chong and his wife also cursed me for being unfilial, saying no one cooked or took care of the children with my mother in detention. I had been too lenient before. They spent my money monthly yet wanted to act like masters, ordering me around. I blocked everyone, called the bank to stop monthly payments to my family, and decided to sell the 150 square meter flat Li Chong was living in, which was under my name. As a truck driver, he couldn't afford such an expensive house. I was lucky to have insisted on not putting it under his name back then, even though my father had demanded it and almost hit me for refusing. Looking back, I was truly foolish, only now determined to break ties. But it's never too late. Better than being sucked dry for life. Meanwhile, I scrolled to a WeChat post from 7 days ago. A photo my mother posted of me lying unconscious on the floor, my face swollen, blood soaking my hospital gown, embarrassed and terrifying. Her caption: "What goes around comes around. This is the fate of an unfilial daughter." My heart was too numb to hurt. Yes, mother, what goes around comes around. I won't sign the letter of understanding. I'll sue you to the end. The post before hers was from Aunt Wong, showing carnations and a silver necklace her daughter gave her with the caption: "Thanks to my darling daughter for the Mother's Day gift." Her daughter was my best friend, Yimeng. Just then Yimeng called. "Yunyun, I heard Auntie beat you in the hospital. How are you now?" She sounded concerned, but I detected a hint of schadenfreude. It turned out best friend had always been one-sided. I didn't beat around the bush. "Yimeng, did you tell her which hospital and ward I was in? Did you incite her to come find me? I don't believe your aunt suddenly went crazy without provocation." Caught off guard, Yimeng stammered. "Yunyun, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Stop pretending. You owe me 300,000 yuan with IOUs and chat records. Pay it back within 3 days or we'll meet in court." Yimeng panicked, but I hung up before she could respond. I had her to thank. When she borrowed money, she'd voluntarily written IOUs to seem trustworthy. Yimeng had poor grades, dropped out early, married young, and became a housewife. She often cried about hating relying on others, so I pitied her, bought things for her kids, and lent her money. Turns out she was just another ungrateful wretch. I was now in a non-public ward. 2 doors with swipe cards separated the corridor from the room, so I wasn't worried about others bothering me. My father and brother had tried to make a scene once, but after the previous incident, the hospital staff knew my situation and took pity, refusing them entry. They cursed me downstairs for being heartless and unworthy of being human, then were driven away by security. Who's truly heartless? A mother who beats her daughter into the ICU after a major surgery? I'll show them what real heartlessness is. After waking up, the police came to take a statement. The nurse had witnessed everything. I expressionlessly recounted my mother's words. The 2 policemen were silent for a long time. One looked at me complicatedly and said, "According to criminal law, intentional injury causing serious harm is punishable by 3 to 10 years in prison. Do you need a medical report? This is if you refuse to reconcile. If you sign a letter of understanding, your mother won't go to prison." I met his gaze, realizing he was hinting at and testing my attitude. "I already have the medical report ready. This is my lawyer, Attorney Liu. Please also tell my mother and family I will not reconcile. My lawyer will handle the rest with you," I said. Attorney Liu, a senior in his field whom I'd worked with before, nodded in agreement. The policeman looked at me deeply, closed his notebook and said, "All right, Ms. Li. Rest well and take care." I stayed in the hospital to recover. After I refused to reconcile, my father and brother realized my mother might truly go to jail and tried to make scenes several more times, but they couldn't even see me and left frustrated. After blocking them and refusing all contact, they grew anxious and mobilized all relatives to persuade me to forgive my mother. Aunt Third messaged, "Yunyun, this is your fault. Your mother raised you hard. How can you become her enemy? I hear you want to send her to prison. Even if she's wrong, she's your mother." Uncle Second called, "You're being absurd. Because your mother was arrested, the family's in chaos. Your sister-in-law is threatening divorce, and no one's taking care of the kids. Stop this nonsense. Do you want to break up the family? Think of your nieces and nephews, don't sue. We're family. Don't make it ugly." Even neighbors messaged, "It's not easy for parents to raise children. You'll understand when you're a mother. Don't be ungrateful." I was bombarded with messages from elders lecturing me condescendingly. They'd never liked me because my mother always belittled me outside while praising my brother, who had only a technical secondary school diploma and achieved nothing yet remained her pride. Since they disliked me, I owed them no kindness. I posted a WeChat status visible only to family and relatives. All these years I've supported the family, sending 8,000 yuan monthly for living expenses and covering almost all costs. Now I'm the least childlike one. Ridiculous. Since Li Chong is the most filial, why not return the money I paid for his wife? A warning to all meddling relatives. Who do you think you are? After just surviving gastric cancer surgery, I was beaten into the ICU by my mother and treated for a day. Did any of you care about me? All you do is moral kidnapping, thinking being an elder makes you important? If you're mentally ill, go to a hospital, stop bossing me around. From now on, I won't give the family a penny. You forced this. You ate my food, used my money, yet acted arrogantly toward me. Am I some cheap pushover? If you want to be beggars, act like it. I'd rather feed money to dogs. At least they'd wag their tails at me. An hour after posting, my messages exploded again. I silently watched them fume, refusing to reply. Now I'm the most unfilial and hated child in the family, but I don't care. Some understood after learning the truth and apologized for believing Li Chong's one-sided story and thinking I was overreacting. I ignored them. They'd morally kidnapped me without asking my side, so they were no better, just unwilling to fall out with me over money. Aunt Third kept video calling to scold me for being uneducated. I blocked her and finally peace reigned. As my body recovered, the court date arrived shortly after my discharge. Accompanied by Attorney Liu, I attended the hearing. It was the first time I had seen my mother since being hospitalized. Her hair was disheveled, and she appeared thinner, evidently faring poorly in detention. The moment her gaze fell on me, it turned instantly venomous. "Bastard! It's all your fault I'm in jail. I should never have given birth to you. Should have strangled you at birth." "Order in the court," the judge warned. My mother ignored him, continuing to curse and vent her rage. You ungrateful wretch. Your father told you to sign the letter of understanding. Why didn't you? How dare you hide from me? You're asking for death. A rural woman with no grasp of law, she remained unrepentant after her detention. In the courtroom she defied the judge. Frowning, the judge said, "Defendant, remain silent. The plaintiff's statement alleges you caused her second-degree serious injury. Do you contest this?" My mother scoffed disdainfully. "I gave her life, can beat her if I want. This is family business, none of your concern." My father in the gallery also glowered at me. After I stopped monthly payments, he threatened to disown me. They hadn't even hired a lawyer for my mother. My brother and sister-in-law didn't even appear. They all deemed a mother beating her child normal. After all, which parent doesn't hit their kid? Even if it nearly killed them. The judge's frown deepened. My mother's admission led to a swift verdict. 7 years in prison. At the ruling, she staggered as if struck by lightning. My father stared blankly, both unprepared for such a lengthy sentence. "What's it to you? How dare you send me to prison? Who do you think you are, meddling in my beating my own daughter?" She shrieked as bailiffs escorted her out. Only then did panic flood her eyes. "Yun, I'm your mother. Tell them to release me. Will you really let your mother go to prison? Who raised you from infancy?" I regarded her coldly, retracting my gaze in silence. Expecting her to deny the charges, I was relieved by the ease of the proceedings. My father slammed the desk, erupting in fury. 7 years? You corrupt judge took bribes, didn't you? Unjust. I'll report you to the central government. He tried to charge at me, only to be detained for 3 days for contempt of court and insulting the judge. News of the case spread through neighboring villages. I had sued my mother, who received 7 years. While some had previously feigned sympathy, now more asked, was it necessary? Just a few beatings, she sent her own mother to prison. So cruel. Like she came to exact revenge. When tragedy doesn't strike them, they always dismiss it with, was it necessary? Who cares what they think after I nearly died by my mother's hand? Before departing abroad, I had another lawsuit. Against Yimeng. Her electrician husband had squandered the borrowed money and couldn't repay it. I honored my word and sued. Her family's home would be sold to settle the debt. Panicked by the real threat of litigation, she bombarded me with calls. First sobbing apologies, then rage. Why shouldn't you lend me money? You're so successful and wealthy. Are you trying to drive me to ruin? She had always envied my career, yet she'd chosen to be a housewife. Her husband harassed me with abusive texts from unknown numbers. I entrusted the case entirely to attorney Liu, unwilling to have any further contact with Yimeng, as she had been one of the forces nearly costing me my life. I also engaged a real estate agency to sell the luxury apartment where Li Chong and his wife lived, entrusting post-departure matters to attorney Liu. Expelling them would be the agency's responsibility. After my father's release from detention, he searched frantically for me, but I had already moved from my apartment to a hotel. The day before my early morning flight, they stormed my company. Having alerted Sister Helen, I learned she had announced my resignation, and security escorted them out. When they reported me as a missing person to police and tracked my hotel, my father and brother pounded on my door. "Li Yun, I know you're in there. Don't play dead. Where's last month's money? I'm your father. You owe me support. Refuse and I'll sue you." My brother raged, reliant on the monthly funds he'd grown accustomed to. "You heartless bitch. Sent mom to prison, now who'll watch my kids? Our family's in chaos and you disappear? Block everyone? You're insane." His wife gestured subtly, then chimed in. "Sis, mom was wrong to hit you, but you've avenged her. Call it even. You're still family. Can't abandon dad and your brother. What about your niece and nephew? They miss you. They'll care for you in old age. Open the door and talk." Lying on the hotel's plush bed, I listened to their shouting. My sister-in-law, the most calculating, had once persuaded my parents not to pressure me to marry, arguing I'd stop spoiling their kids once I had my own, and they could freely spend my earnings if I remained single, inheriting my estate after my death. My parents had eagerly agreed, now praising single life. I hadn't chosen celibacy for their sake but focused on career. Money, not marriage, offered security. My niece and nephew, taught to view my wealth as theirs, had even chided me for wasting their money on a designer bag, just like their ungrateful parents. As they alternated between threats and false compassion, I called hotel staff to complain about the disturbance. Security promptly arrived to escort them out. My father erupted in impotent fury. "I'm your father. Li Yun, you'll never be welcome home. Die alone for all I care." A migrant worker who vented all frustration on his daughter, he still thought such threats mattered. I was no longer the naive recent graduate. With my own household registration, I feared nothing. My brother and sister-in-law protested tearfully as security dragged them away, the latter now dropping all pretense to sneer at my fake filial piety. After the hotel manager apologized and warned they were lingering in the lobby, I switched hotels via the staff entrance, letting them believe I remained. One night in a new hotel and I'd be gone. Just then Yimeng used a high school classmate's phone to call, sobbing hysterically. "Yun, please have mercy. I was wrong. I'll kneel and apologize. My husband's leaving me. Our decades of friendship. Will you really destroy my family? What about our kids? Please drop the lawsuit." A cold sneer curled in my heart, but since she'd called, I decided to confront her. "I see you and your husband are still thick as thieves. Weren't you both cursing me out just weeks ago? And since when is repaying a debt a threat? Debtors always play the victim, don't they?" Yimeng's sobs intensified. "I can't scrape together 300,000 yuan. That's hardly my concern. If you couldn't afford it, why borrow? Did you ever intend to repay? Oh right, you still have that house. Sell it. She shrieked. Li Yun, you bitch. No wonder your parents hate you. Why don't you just die? If they loved you, they'd pay for you. Then let them, I shot back. Her high school classmate intervened. Yun, we're all friends. Don't make this ugly. Yiming really can't afford it. Why push her? I scoffed. Since when did you become her savior? Why don't you pay her debt then? I hung up and blocked the classmate. So many love to wield moral superiority, one by one I'd block them all. Before departing, I visited my mother in prison. At the sight of me, her eyes blazed with hatred. It's all your fault. What do you want? I picked up the phone. Long time no see, mother. I came to tell you I'm leaving the country. Her face froze. What do you mean? I mean I'm done being your cash cow. I'm immigrating and never coming back. I won't support you in old age. You've always bragged about how filial Li Chong is. Let him take care of you. I smiled. The immigration was a lie for now, but plans were in motion. She recoiled in shock. You're running away? I nodded. You don't love me. You took my money but treated me like garbage. Why should I stay? In time I'll marry, have children, build a new life. So forget about my estate. It'll never be yours. This is the last time I'll call you mother. Goodbye. As I turned to leave, she panicked. Li Yun, how can you be so heartless? A mother's scolding and beating is out of love. It hurt me more than it hurt you. Was it just about that Mother's Day gift? I'll forget it, just stay. Tears, crocodile tears, streamed down her face, but I wasn't the gullible child she remembered. I recall you letting me freeze against the wall while you slept through my fever at 4. Her face paled, eyes wide with disbelief that I'd remembered. She looked like a startled animal, finally realizing her obedient pet had escaped her grasp. Yun, don't go. Where will I find you? I walked away without a word, her desperate cries fading as guards escorted her back. On the plane I posted a WeChat status. Suddenly craving a new country. Goodbye beautiful hometown. Hello UK. With airplane mode on I boarded. Upon landing my phone buzzed with countless likes and comments. My father, still camped at the hotel, received a screenshot of my post from a gossipy relative. His eyes bulged. She's fled the country? The court swiftly auctioned Yiming's home, depositing 300,000 yuan into my account. When she badmouthed me in our alumni group, I posted the court documents and warned others about lending to friends. The class monitor kicked her out after her foul-mouthed tirade. As for Li Chong's apartment, the real estate agency evicted the couple despite their tantrums. I heard my sister-in-law was threatening divorce, and Li Chong vowed to kill me. But what could a man who couldn't afford a plane ticket do? In the UK I thrived, integrating into my company, making friends, healing old wounds. My father's threats to sue me fizzled when his lawyer explained he couldn't claim alimony until 60, and even then it would be a paltry sum. Later I met a dashing British man, finalized my immigration, and we had a child. My family searched frantically but couldn't trace me. My mother was released a year early for good behavior. Her first act, chasing my trail. A furious row erupted at home. My brother blamed her for driving me away, screaming that he'd lost his house and allowance. My sister-in-law spat. Why didn't you die in prison? We can't afford to feed your grandkids. Get out. My mother was banished to a tiny rented room, working as a cleaner, sending 2,000 yuan monthly to my brother while my father toiled on construction sites. But my sister-in-law, spoiled by my former generosity, raged at their meager contributions. Through relatives they heard snippets of my life. Promotions, a luxury car, a villa, a mixed-race daughter. Every glamorous post on my WeChat was intentional. Let them see my thriving life while they clawed for scraps. During holidays, relatives would slyly ask my mother, "Have you heard from your daughter?" Once a braggart about her blessed old age, she now squirmed and changed the subject as others mocked. So rich yet so heartless. Look at her traveling the world, how can mother and daughter hold grudges? Eventually, she grew too ashamed to attend family gatherings, retreating into quiet despair. When our daughter turned 6, my husband suggested a trip to China. It's a wonderful country, I said, but there are people I never wish to see again. He instantly redirected our plans. The world was vast, I belonged anywhere I chose to thrive. And as I held my child I knew my heart was full, my past powerless. The end.